Hi, it's Honest John. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Koch brothers. Now, the Koch brothers' main energy is energy. They refine petroleum, they have pipelines, they also have chemical plants, polymers, fertilizers, and pulp and paper. They are in all those businesses. And here's their record. 1999, they were found guilty of dumping hundreds of thousands of gallons of aviation fuel into wetlands near the Mississippi River. That same year, they were also found guilty of stealing from the U.S. government and American Indian lands. In 2000, they paid a $35 million settlement for oil spills in Texas going back to 1990. In 2001, once again, caught stealing from the American Indians. Paid $45 million in fines. 2003, found guilty of 40 violations of export regulations in regard to petroleum. 2006, 10 separate violations of the Clean Air Act in Alaska. They were fined $16,000. Obviously, we sell our air pretty cheaply. 2007, they were rated the third highest company releasing toxic chemicals in the state of Oklahoma. And in 2009, they disclosed 680 environmental violations going back to 2004. So that's in just 2 years. No, I'm wrong. 5 years. 5 years. 680 environmental violations. So that's the Koch brothers' sterling environmental record, and it's one of the reasons why they spend about $20 million a year lobbying against regulation. Regulation obviously costs them a little bit of money because they're constantly pulling shit. So they own that stuff. A lot of chemical and energy companies and things like that. Well, what else do they own? Well, they own a governor. They own Scott Walker of Wisconsin. That became real clear during that phone conversation, didn't it? When the guy from the Koch brothers said, "We've got to bust those unions," Scott Walker didn't say, "No, this is about balancing our budget." When the guy he thought was the Koch brothers said, "We've got a vested interest in this," Scott Walker didn't say, "Oh, what vested interest?" No, he knew what they were talking about, because in the bill that Scott Walker and the Republicans are trying to get passed, there is a provision that they can sell off Wisconsin's utilities using no-bid contracts. So you know that's going to pay back the Koch brothers. I don't know if there's going to be an investigation of that. I sure hope there will be. And they also own 2 Supreme Court justices, Antonin Scalia and Clarence Thomas. And both of them received money from the Koch brothers they attended some kind of gathering of the Koch brothers' friends and allies. Clarence Thomas said it was just a drop-by. Well, he dropped by for 4 days, and he got money for it, and so did Scalia. And then they came out with the Citizens United decision, which makes no sense at all unless they were getting money for it, because it overturned hundreds of years of precedent. Supreme Court justices, when they're being when they're having their hearings in Congress, always talk about respecting precedent. Well, they overturned hundreds of years of precedent and made a really weird ruling. I mean, I'm going to spend another video just on that at a later time. But let's just say that it's a fact that the Koch brothers own 2 Supreme Court justices. Now, usually in our history of the Supreme Court, whether you agreed or disagreed with with their decisions, you knew that they were men of integrity, but we know that Scalia and Clarence Thomas certainly are not men of integrity. And last of all, the Koch brothers own the Tea Party. Now, the Tea Party always talks about how they're the ones protecting our rights, right? But when the Koch brothers told them to go to Wisconsin, they went to Wisconsin. And instead of standing up for people's rights, they were standing up for the Koch brothers and Scott Walker. Way to go, you fucking morons.